Hey, it's Veit Schenk here with a quick case study where I'm illustrating one of the core concepts of network marketing and how to use that in practice. So what you're seeing here is a page that is really a webinar sign-up page. So when you scroll down here, there's a lot of text, and then eventually you get to this box where you can sign up to the webinar. And that's of course in stark contrast to what you're typically seeing. Here's an example of what you typically see, not mine, it's someone else's webinar sign-up page. And all you've got here is a headline, you've got a subheadline, and then you can sign up. And that's it. Now, on the surface, this one here is much better. And why is it better? Because as you're taught, as you learn with conversion optimization, you get much better conversions when there is less to think about, fewer obstacles. And this is a fairly easy decision. I mean, you look at this and you go, well, either I want it or I don't. And as a result, I'm in. And here's the thing. What coach wouldn't mind a $9 million coaching business? Because that's what they're implying here. With just one 45-minute presentation, you build a $9 million coaching business. So anyone who's in coaching will go, wow, that's interesting, I want this. And therein lies the problem. Basically what you've got here is an impulse sign-up. It's not a considered decision. Now, you might be thinking, well, why is that a problem? I get more people in. As a result, I have a higher chance of speaking to those who are qualified, and they're going to be my ideal clients. And that's what they're doing. They're basically getting a lot of people into their funnel, and then they do their presentation, the 45-minute presentation, and at the end of it, you then, it spits out a very small percentage of people who are qualified clients. Thank you very much. Well, the problem is that because you're talking to a very, very, very general audience, and not only a very general audience, but also, if you look at this headline, an audience that isn't quite clear what it wants specifically. They don't have a clear path. Or more specifically, they don't have a specific problem they are trying to solve. This is almost a level of desperation or wishful thinking. It's not a targeted, I'm trying to go over there and please someone help me. It's more like, I don't like where I'm at. Maybe over somewhere is better. Or, hey, I've heard this thing can be done and, it's cool. And that's the problem. The moment you do that, you speak to a very, very large audience. And they all have different starting points, different endpoints, different obstacles, different backgrounds, different experiences. And as a result, you can't speak to anyone specifically about the one problem they are facing. And that is the underlying reason why a lot of marketing, traditional marketing, ends up with these conversion rates of 1% or 3%. That is good, because the 1% or the 3%, somewhere in that range, they're the ones where you spoke to them throughout. You gave them the right message all along. Everyone else got lost. And this is the underlying, or one of the underlying principles of network marketing. We look at this customer journey, their solution-seeking process, as a sequence of micro yeses. We want to see what question do they have, can we give them an answer, and if they like that answer, and they basically as a result get a micro yes, they can move to their next question. And if they get another micro yes, they move to the next question. With this type of approach, where you fish in the big ocean and you're trying to appeal to everyone, I mean, any coach under the sun would be very, very happy with a $9 million coaching business where all they have to do is a 45-minute presentation, right? And that's the problem. You're speaking to so many people with so many different questions that no one really feels spoken to, and as a result, only a tiny percentage comes out at the other end. So what we're doing here, and this is now finally the case study starts, we take a very different approach in network marketing. We say, let's focus at the specific, if you like, entry point questions people have. What is the one thing they are struggling with? What is on their minds right now? What kind of thing makes them wake up in the morning and go, oh, if only I had a solution to this? If you look at the headline on this one here is, From Persuasion to Genuine Attraction. Now this is a target audience who have tried and struggled with typical marketing. And as a result, they have an internal disconnect and go, I don't like this being done on me, and I don't like doing it to other people. It's too salesy, it's too persuasion oriented, I need an alternative. This will not appeal to people who go, well, you know, I want to do some marketing. They won't understand. They have no idea what I'm talking about here. Now, the other reason why this page is so long is because I then go into more detail. Yeah, by the way, this is me. Hello. I go into more detail. I give them, if you've gone through Neujahr Marketing, the free content on the homepage, you will immediately get what I'm doing here, right? I'm basically explaining the underlying reasons. But back to this case study. I'm now showing more facets of this headline. And every single time someone who's been there and done that and struggled with it, they will go, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And as a result, at the end of this, they'll go, okay, this is cool. I want this. Please send me the details to your webinar. Anyone else who's, for example, only just started with marketing or who's not even considered marketing, they'll go, well, I don't quite get this. This doesn't speak to me. Their mind does not respond to this. And if for some reason they were to continue just because they're bored, for example, they'd very quickly go, man, none of this really makes any sense to me. And as a result, they're extremely unlikely to sign up down here. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, because now all the follow-up material, this webinar, the emails and everything can focus on the prospective clients who signed up because this is the problem they're facing and this is the one they're trying to solve. I can help them with this. I don't need to go big picture and talk about all kinds of things in order to try to please everyone. I don't need to put on a big dog and pony show. I don't need to bend over backwards just to make sure they stay on the call. So the counterexample with this kind of scenario, quite often you have the situation where people are reluctant to show up because deep down they know, well, it's probably not for me. So you end up going, well, if you show up and you attend live and you stay to the end, you will get a free report worth X. Or amongst all the attendees, we'll raffle off one iPad loaded with all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, you very quickly end up having to use persuasion tricks to get people to even to show up. That's very, very different from this approach, where we have looked boring to someone who does not have this kind of thing on their minds. They don't have the background, they don't have the actual experience. And this is nothing bad, which I'll probably illustrate with, I'll illustrate with an example right now. We used to run workshops for the sales reps for newspapers. And the people who hire us were the sales managers of the newspaper advertising department. They'd come to us typically saying, look, our guys or gals are not selling, they're encountering obstacles or objections all the time. We need better objection handling techniques. That was the #1 brief all the time. As a bonus, they throw in, and if you can do some closing techniques, that would be great as well. But typically it was, how do we overcome objections? Now, when you've got someone like that, their mindset is focused exclusively on objection handling. As a result, a headline here would make totally sense to be all about objection handling, the ultimate objection handling technique. Now, you maybe know this, hopefully know this. You are interested in non-persuasive or not, sort of persuasion, exploitative, manipulative techniques. You probably appreciate that the big secret to overcoming objections, especially the smoke screen objections, is to pre-qualify your clients or prospective clients. And that pre-qualifying is really marketing. That's what Peter Drucker meant by the purpose of marketing is to eliminate or make selling superfluous. He's talking about the salesy stuff, the persuasion stuff, the objection handling. That's what gets eliminated by doing proper marketing up front. Now, if the mindset of the sales manager is, look, I want objection handling techniques, and they have not considered marketing ever. They didn't consider that the best way to overcome objections is to eliminate them up front. They will not respond to a headline that says, we'll show you how to do ultimate pre-qualifying using wonderful marketing techniques, or how to implement Peter Drucker's original quote, how to eliminate. That will not resonate with them. And the reason it does not resonate with them is they haven't contemplated that idea. They haven't looked at what the implications are. They are maybe not even aware of the fact that they could be doing marketing as a newspaper. All these kind of things. And as a result, if I now were to go in and have a very open, generic, aimed at every single sales manager in the world, wonderful presentation with, you know, the message how you can close or get your team to close every single sale in the world, I'd be now talking to two very distinct audiences. I'd be talking to those who are aware of the value of marketing and the implications, not only in the sense of benefits, but also what is required to put it into place. And on the other hand, those who are not ready, those who are really focused on getting objection handling techniques. As a result, if I now were to be talking about marketing and how to implement it in practice, I'd be wasting the time of those who are focused on, well, I want an objection handling technique. So that's the bigger picture of why this particular page is structured in this way. It is purely to talk to one very specific audience who, through, you know, responding, having on their mind, responding to this headline and also to the message that comes below before there's ever a sign-up box, I self-identify as someone who has thought about this, who are in the right place to move forward. They have the things in place to really benefit from what is coming here. And the reason there's so much text above it, this could be in the form of a video or anything you like, is to respectfully reject those or implicitly say this is not for you if people haven't, you know, got the preconditions, if they don't have in place what is needed to really benefit from this. So you're ultimately avoiding impulse signups. So, to sum up, as counterintuitive as it sounds, you're far better off rejecting people. And this is not in a negative rejection. We all hate rejection, right? In the sense of not looking appealing to those who don't have the things in place. It is very, very easy to be generic and general and put in a wishful thinking thing everyone is excited about. I mean, if you give me free beer for life, of course I'm going to sign up, right? And what coach is not going to say, look, this sounds interesting, $9 million coaching business in just 45 minutes, excellent, I'll have that. The problem with that is you don't know how to talk to the very different places people come from, the very different destinations they're trying to get to. And as a result, you have a very generic message that appeals or only makes sense to a very small percentage of those who then attend, and everyone else, you may be able to persuade some of them with urgency and scarcity and big enough bonuses, but really that's the one thing we're trying to avoid. So at the end of the day, what you'll end up doing in practice with a no-yuck marketing approach is to have something like this, where you speak to individual small pockets of prospective clients who have certain things in place and certain destinations they want to get to. And then everything that follows is respectful of their time and their needs, because now you know where they're starting from, where they want to get to, roughly what obstacles are in the way, and then you can deliver relevant content. This is all about know, like, and trust and relevance. This is the one thing everyone keeps overlooking. KLT, know, like, and trust, is huge, but if you're not relevant, no amount of know, like, and trust in the world helps you. If you have a destination, you want to go to the Alps, and there's this gorgeous looking guide, and they say, look, follow me, but they're going to the Himalayas, there's no point, right? No matter how good they're looking, ultimately you want to go to the Alps. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We want to make sure we've got the right destination, the right starting point, and as a result, everything that follows makes sense and is relevant to those who are going on this journey with you. In the next video, what I'm going to do is break this down a little bit more, because this journey then, of course, that's at the core of what we're doing in no-yuck marketing, and this is then where conversion optimization comes in, because traditional conversion optimization is all about, if you like, a surface level conversion. Hey, how do I increase my opt-in rate? How do I increase my click-through rates? Well, I can already tell you what it is by making big promises or by providing free beer or whatever it is, yeah. But that's not the point, as you hopefully appreciate by now. So there you go. That's the first big picture. I hope this is a useful case study of why we structure the things we do here. You don't have to do it in this plain looking way, but the underlying strategy, that's what's important. Here you have something that is on people's minds, and the thing that is on their minds is not something we want to exploit, because we all have, free sex and beer. That probably should have been the other way around on our minds. Hardwired responses, they are on everyone's minds. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to have hooks that appeal to everyone, but what we want to do is make sure whatever we're leading with here, and whether it's in the headline or the subheadline or various points throughout your copy, these are the things that implicitly say what people already have in place. What is their starting point? What are the obstacles they've already overcome? And what is their destination? Alrighty. If you have any questions, any comments or concerns, leave a comment down below. Reach out to me. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Alrighty. Cheers. Bye.